Hey, it's your friend, Goo Gaga. Megamind 2, a movie review. What a good movie. What a good film. I watched this in theaters with my brother and my friend from another school. You wouldn't know him, but we watched this film, and we were surprised to find out that it was actually a good film. A good movie. Enjoyable, and funny, and hilarious. Ha. The movie starts with Megamind trying to break into a bank. Pretty simple and effective use of the villain. A bank robbery, classic. And Minion does his classic moves. It's really funny. But Meteor Man, not to be confused with Metro Man, this is a new and original character for the Megamind universe, you see. Meteor Man pulls up and he's like, "Hey Megamind, I know you're evil, but you're not even evil enough for me to stop you." And then he flies away and leaves a note saying the super evil villain convention is in 2 days. So him and Minion get their best getup on and they go. And this is kind of where the movie gets a little boring, but there's basically just this romance arc between Megamind and this other alien girl. It's kind of contrived, and there's a montage of them doing evil things. But eventually Roxanne shows up and is like, "Come on, Mega Man, you're cheating on me. Not cool." And breaks up with him. Very sad stuff. But what's interesting is that Megamind is cool with it, because he's so infatuated with this new girl villain alien character. And you see, that's kind of what makes the sequel so good, is that it builds upon the original by introducing new characters and locations, and that's just really what makes it interesting. And what happens next is Minion finds a fish girlfriend. There's a lot of romance in this film. I guess that's why they call it Megamind 2, Mindful of Love. It's pretty good, but it doesn't compare to the original. And what I thought was cool was actually the backstory for the main love interest. She actually got her powers because her mom found a spider in the wilderness of their home planet. And in the movie, she does unfortunately get paralyzed and becomes blind. However, she has 3 minions of her own, and Megamind, of course, is there to help her every step of the way. The plot arc is about Meteor Man finally seeing Megamind as a worthy threat. When Megamind finally plants a bomb at the top of Metroid Tower, Meteor Man finally gets pissed off enough and they fight. The fight is really epic. It reminds me a lot of the old dragon god from Demon Souls, with the way Meteor Man transforms and how Megamind has to duck and dodge and save his girl. It's pretty awesome, although the sex scene was kind of weird. But this movie actually has 2 villains, or heroes, I guess. In addition to Meteor Man, there's also Melon Man. His powers involve the ability to spawn watermelons. A pretty interesting addition to the roster of characters, but the animators really use this ability creatively and put him in many situations where the melons are used in interesting ways. There's also a part where they actually do a crossover with Despicable Me. That was so cool. Gru shows up with all his minions and he's like, "Hello, Megamind. I've heard much about you. You are an ultimate supervillain, and together we will steal the sun." And then they hatch a plot to steal the sun. Pretty good so far. So then, after they steal the sun, they find some lost kid, and they're like, "Oh man, we can't leave this poor kid here." So they spend a good chunk of the movie looking for this kid's parents. Yeah, they just kind of walk around the whole town of Metroid where this movie takes place, and it's interesting actually. When they arrive at the parents' house, there's no one home. But it turns out it was actually Meteor Man and Melon Man's home and child. They are a gay couple. That's so cool. I never thought Disney would be brave enough to do that, especially after the amount of straight couples in this movie. This just goes to show that truly, this movie was not made for corporate greed and to make a quick buck. In fact, I would go so far as to say Megamind 2, Guardian of the Universe, is the best film in the franchise. The long-spanning, Great Bridge-banning franchise of the Despicable Me universe. That's right. This film is officially listed as Despicable Me 6. Truly, this hallmark of cinema deserves many awards and many Blu-ray releases. I hope we can see this movie come to classic stores such as Walmart, Trader Joe's, McDonald's, and Target. One can only dream of the absolute pandemonium that would be caused were this movie to not have been made. And I just want to thank Netflix for releasing this film so soon after the original. Because honestly, it just would have been a shame if the hype for Megamind were to have died. A movie that came out in 2010, just a quick 14 years later, and we have our long-awaited sequel, Megamind 2, The Black Parade. And thankfully, we even have a sneak peek at the end of this film, teasing the next one after the credits. We get to see the new character, Shang-Chi, and his apprentice as the girl from the movie. That was Megamind's love interest. Do you know what this means? It means that she's evil, and Megamind is going to get betrayed in the next one. Do you think this will mean the return of Roxanne? Did you watch this film? What did you think? Overall, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. perfect score for the perfect movie. Shoutouts to Jet Jaguar.